All right, so you just read chapter 4 of If We Were Giants, and a couple things about the chapter. We really get to know more of the setting of the chapter of the novel so far. So we know Kira and her father, Taro, have been out on the outside, and that's what they keep referring it to, the outside. We don't know specific locations or names of towns or maybe even countries that they're in right now. We just know that they're outside and they leave the outside to go back home. We get to see how they make it back home and how it's very secretive. And we find out that they actually live, their home is on the inside of a volcano. So there are lots of descriptions of what it looks like, and we know that there's different parts of the inside of the volcano that make up, I guess, different parts and villages where people live, and there's lots of carved roads and um, houses and places where people live, huts and that sort of thing, carved into the sides of the volcano all around the inside. Um, and so they uh, go in, and there's lots of talk about some of the rules that they have to follow, and we don't know exactly where these rules come from or why they have to follow these rules, but it seems like everything is pretty secretive. Um, if they want to know something, it seems like it's kind of hard to find out different things. We know that Kira brought her brother back some arrowheads, and arrowheads are a type of weapon that Native Americans used, and um, they're found all over the world. All types of Native people have used them over time as a weapon, as a source of hunting, and so they are something that you can find depending on where you're at. In the ground or underneath of rocks and that sort of thing. So she brought them back for her brother, and there was a talk about them not having any sort of weapons, no sort of violence. They didn't believe in that. That wasn't something that they talked about, and apparently there was some kind of consequence if you were caught. Even showing interest in it. So they had to hide it, and it had to be a secret. Um, he showed his sister his hiding spot, which was a place kind of under this landing where people were ziplining. So if you can imagine, if you've ever gone ziplining, I'm way too afraid to ever do that. But you can also, just do a Google search of what ziplining is, and you're basically on this rope and you're flying through wherever you're going. So through trees, a lot of times. Um, Different resorts might have them, and you can do it for fun. But it seems like their inside of the volcano is covered with zip lines. Everyone, that's how people get from one side to the other side of the volcano in different villages inside the volcano. So her brother and his friends built this secret hiding spot. Um, they also had made the comment that it's really hard to have a secret hiding spot because everybody's kind of watching everyone, and everyone knows every inch of the volcano because the insides have all been carved out by the builders. And those are the people who built all of the huts and all of the roads and all of the steps, and so they know every inch of the inside of the volcano, which is also pretty neat and a little creepy. So as they continue talking, you kind of get the feeling that there's a lot more to the story about why they live the way they live. And the chapter sort of ends with the parents seeming a little bit uneasy with something, and Kira doesn't know what that is, but she knows that they're acting strange, and she knows that they're not acting the way they typically do. So it kind of sets us up to see, well, what's wrong. and to try to uncover this mystery of what the problem is. Even though we're reading fantasy, there's still a problem, there's still a solution throughout the story. So we're kind of going to start to arc into the first big problem of the story. And we will uncover that in the upcoming chapters. So, your assignment for today, your response, is to describe the setting, using the details that I just discussed, but go back into the chapter and as you write your response, take specific details to be able to describe the setting. What does it look like? What are the people like? Different details about what some of the rules are, and tell us about the setting that we have learned about in chapter 4.